Picture this. Red and blue lights appear in your mirror. You pull over. The officer walks up to your window. Everything seems routine. Then he asks a question, not because he doesn't know the answer, not because he's making conversation, because he's trying to get you to talk. And here's the part most drivers never realize. The officer hasn't decided where this stop is going yet. He may only have enough information for a warning, maybe a ticket, maybe nothing at all. If knowing your rights matters to you, subscribe now. Share this with someone who needs it, and drop your opinion below. But over the next few minutes, 5 simple questions can completely change the direction of the encounter. The decision point isn't when the lights come on. It isn't when he asks for your license. It's the moment you start volunteering information. That's when many drivers unknowingly help build a case against themselves. Let's look at the 5 most common questions. Question number 1. Do you know why I pulled you over? Almost everyone answers, I think I was speeding. Maybe I rolled through that stop sign. I wasn't paying attention. Sounds harmless, but think about what just happened. You just admitted to the violation before the officer presented any evidence. Why ask the question? Because officers use it to measure your response. They want to know whether you'll volunteer information, whether you'll admit conduct, whether you'll start talking. Driver: I was probably going a little fast. Officer: how fast do you think you were going? Now the conversation is growing. The decision point happens right here, the moment you begin explaining. A better response is simple. Why did you stop me, officer? That's it. Why did you stop me, officer? Short, polite, no admissions, no guessing, no extra information. Question number 2. Where are you coming from? Again, most people answer immediately. Just left a friend's house, coming from a bar, leaving a party, coming home from work. Seems innocent, but officers aren't necessarily interested in your destination. They're interested in consistency. They want details. The more details you provide, the more opportunities exist for follow-up questions. Officer: which bar? Driver: the Blue Lantern. Officer: how long were you there? Driver: a couple hours. Officer: did you have anything to drink? Notice how one question becomes 3, then 4, then 5. The trap isn't the question itself. The trap is believing you must explain everything. Question number 3. Have you had anything to drink tonight? This is where many encounters escalate. People think honesty requires a detailed explanation. Driver: just 2 beers. Officer: when was the last one? Driver: maybe 30 minutes ago. Officer: what kind of beer? Driver: I don't remember. Now the officer has statements to evaluate. The decision point is not the question. The decision point is the explanation, because every additional detail creates more investigation. If you choose not to answer investigative questions, keep it simple and respectful. Remember the phrase, why did you stop me, officer? The goal isn't to argue. The goal is to avoid volunteering information that expands the encounter. Question number 4. Is there anything illegal in the vehicle? This question catches people off guard. Many drivers panic. They start over-explaining. No, absolutely not. You can search everything. I swear, I don't know why anyone would think that. The nervous explanation often creates more curiosity than the original question. Officers are trained to observe behavior, not just words. When people begin rambling, apologizing, or volunteering information, the conversation often becomes longer. Officer: you seem nervous. Driver: I'm not nervous. Officer: then why are your hands shaking? Driver: because I don't like being stopped. Now you're discussing behavior instead of the reason for the stop. The decision point happened when the conversation drifted away from the original purpose. Question number 5. Do you mind if I take a look inside? This may be the most important question of all, because it sounds casual, friendly, informal, but it's actually a request for consent. Many people believe they must say yes. Others feel pressured. Some think refusing automatically makes them look guilty, so they start explaining. Driver: I mean, I guess so. I don't have anything to hide. Officer: okay, step out for me. And now the encounter changes dramatically. The decision occurs the second consent is given, not because the officer did anything wrong, because the scope of the encounter just expanded. If you don't want to consent to a search, many legal experts recommend keeping your response short and respectful. I do not consent to any searches. Nothing more. No speeches, no arguments, no accusations, just a clear statement. Now let's talk about why these questions work so well. Most people feel uncomfortable with silence. They think cooperation means talking. So they fill every pause. They explain, justify, defend, guess, volunteer. And every new piece of information gives investigators more material to work with. That's why the real trap isn't any specific question. It's the urge to keep talking. That's the decision point, the exact moment the encounter begins moving beyond the original reason for the stop. So let's compare two drivers. Driver 1. Officer, do you know why I stopped you? Driver, I think I was speeding. Officer, how fast? Driver, maybe 15 over. Officer, where are you coming from? Driver, a sports bar. Officer, did you drink? Driver, just a couple. Notice what's happening. The driver is building the conversation himself. Now driver 2. Officer, do you know why I stopped you? Driver, why did you stop me, officer? Officer, where are you coming from? Driver, why did you stop me, officer? Officer, have you had anything to drink? Driver, why did you stop me, officer? The encounter stays focused. The officer either has a reason for the stop or doesn't, but the driver isn't providing extra information that expands the investigation. Now let's briefly cover the legal foundation. In the United States, the Fifth Amendment protects individuals from being compelled to incriminate themselves. That doesn't mean you can ignore lawful identification requirements during a traffic stop. It doesn't mean you should be rude. And it doesn't mean that every question is improper. It simply means that volunteering potentially incriminating information is generally not required. The key isn't confrontation. The key is discipline. Most people lose control of the encounter because they feel obligated to explain themselves. That's exactly where the decision point appears. Not when the officer speaks, when you do. So remember the trap. 5 common questions. Do you know why I stopped you? Where are you coming from? Have you been drinking? Is there anything illegal in the vehicle? Do you mind if I take a look inside? The questions aren't the real issue. The decision point is your urge to volunteer information. And the phrase to remember is simple. Why did you stop me, officer? Short, polite, easy to remember. Use it whenever the conversation starts drifting away from the purpose of the stop. Because the smartest drivers aren't the ones who talk the most. They're the ones who recognize the decision point before the officer does.